Boy, oh boy, here we go. It's time to set up our actual Intelitek bench mill. So let me just walk you through the process here. The first thing I want to note is that I actually have a little bit of a mess in here. So before I do anything else, I really want to make sure that I clean up my bench mill here. So I'm going to just get my standard brush, get my material I'm going to cut, my dial calipers out of the way, just come in here, brush this stuff off. The reason this is important is because if I'm going to set up my parallels and my stock in here and I leave a bunch of chips underneath it, it's going to end up making my stock just a little bit angled, and that's not good. I'm not gonna get my part the way I want it to be if I don't take care of that. So I'm just gonna get some of the bigger chips out of the way here. All right, in general, get myself a clean workspace. So once I'm feeling good about that, I can see I don't have any chips in here where my parallels are gonna be. I'm ready to move to the next step. So now what I'm gonna do is actually put my 1/8 inch end mill into what's called a collet and install that collet in here so it's ready to run. So this is what it looks like. This one's got a end mill on both ends. So here you can see, as I had said in the previous video, I'm using a 2-tooth end mill. This one's an 1/8 inch. So very exciting stuff. So what I'm going to do first is get it into one of my tools. So you can see I've already got an edge finder here set up in this collet. I also have this empty collet, and that's where this one's going to go. So let's talk about how we actually get this end mill. That's only 1/8 of an inch to fit into that big of a hole and actually work. So this is where this comes into play, these little collet heads here. So I've got them all kinds of different sizes. We have 1/4 inch collet, 3/8 inch collet. In this case, I'm looking for the one that just says 1/8. So I'll take that out. Looks a little something like this. This is just a very small scale of what you'd see in a real life CNC mill. And so what I'm going to do next is use this silly looking key and put it on here. And that's actually how I'm going to take this end off. Okay, so there we have that. From there, I will take my end mill and I'm going to insert it into this little collet holder, like so. That's what's eventually going to hold it. And you can see it's got all these little grooves in it because when I tighten it in here, that's going to pinch these together and give it a good snug hold. So all we have to do here is put this collet in there. There we go. Get it in there straight. Put this in here. Now I should be able to just get this finger tight at first. Okay. Snug it up a little bit. My key don't need to be Hercules here or anything, but just tight enough. So there I now have my 1/8 inch end mill right where I want it to be. So this is now ready to go into my bench mill. The first thing I need to do in order to get it in there though is to turn it on. So I'm going to come around over here to the side. Real simple switch. Just got a simple off on here. It lives. Alright. So I should just be able to take my collet, insert it here, and hit this drawbar button. Okay, so you'll notice that I had it on, I had my tool in here, and I was hitting the drawbar button, but it wasn't doing anything. Okay, now you can see it just made that sound. Let me explain to you why it did that. So if you come over here, and we go to the Setup tab in CNC Motion, what I hadn't done yet is change the setting from simulation to online. Because our goal is for this program on this computer to actually communicate with the bench mill. So I just select online here, and now I should be able to go over here, put my little buddy in there. There we go, and there it is. Okay, so this is the same process you'll follow with whatever kind of collet you're using. So now that I've demonstrated it on that, I'll show you how to take them out as well, because the first thing I want to use is actually not my end mill, but my edge finder for my part. So here's my edge finder. And the first thing I want to do, just like I would with any end mill, is find out what's the diameter of this, because that's going to be important for my setbacks. So I'll get little dial calipers on there. Okay, this one's 0.2. I have several that are like 0.25, and so I need to make note of that. This is not a 1/4 inch, but just a 1/5 of an inch. So I got 0.2 here. I'm going to just take this collet out. It comes out the same way that they go in. Put my edge finder in. There it is. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is go step by step through how to get our part into our vise, because if you'll come over here and observe, you'll see that we have a pneumatic vise. This isn't just like a hand crank vise. This one's actually air pressure controlled to hold a part. So in the next video, we're going to walk through how to set this up so it will actually hold your part for you.